What the,
You start. What you got going on?
my boy? Wait.
Oh,
Hand on the brakes there for foot on the brakes. Uh, bro, how's this weather in Wrightwood? First of all,
dude, we got snow yesterday. It's kind of wild. I love it. I'm a big fan.
it's kind of like novelty, isn't it? Like it's like, oh wow, it's different.
Bro, like this morning I poured salt out in the front. I'm like, where the fuck am I? It's weird because Wrightwood is, I'm only about like an hour and a half up the coast from LA. And then
Yeah,
all surrounding me is like desert, like high desert. So I've got this is a stretch of like maybe 10 blocks or something, 10 streets up, where it's this mountainy, like ski resorty kind of town. And that's where I'm at. And I love it.
I think I kind of remember driving past Wrightwood and being like, oh, that's like a cute little town, sort of. And seeing there's like high desert around, but then there's like a couple mountains right there, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Where
dude.
like, is that Mountain High?
Yeah. I can't believe you know it. Yeah.
I just saw it in the news and stuff.
I'm like a minute walk from Mountain High. And I
And
don't ski.
by a minute away, does that mean like from the actual ski lift and stuff?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I haven't been there, but the whole sign for Mountain High and everything is right there.
So funny. Do you think it'll get pretty crowded and stuff with people like skiing?
I'd imagine. I mean, especially now. But but yeah, man. I mean, I'm an East Coaster. This is way more my vibe. Like everyone's so nice. There's like one guy at the Wi-Fi place. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be here all week if you need anything." It's like completely different, dude.
Mom and pop style.
Very mom and pop. I feel like filming wise, I could film like wherever I want, which is crazy different.
Doesn't give you any problems.
No.
Is there places to eat and stuff?
Yeah, bro, I ate at this Mexican spot that's again like a minute walk from me, and it's better than any Mexican food I've had in LA.
What type of stuff?
I had fajitas. It's fucking great.
Epic, epic. And like grocery store and everything.
Yeah, they got it all. They
How's
got it.
the school? How's the school?
Everything's within like couple blocks. So it's just a small little quaint mom and pop.
And do you guys live like next to that town or are you kind of a bit out?
Yeah, it's like 2 blocks down is kind of everything. So we're sort of in the hub. And my cousins live like 3 streets north. So it's cool, man. We got like a built-in.
Wait. You just brushed over a very key feature that you haven't brought up before. You have cousins that live there?
Yeah, they're like 2 times removed or whatever, but they've been super nice. Like yeah, I don't even really know how I'm related to them, but uh it's Lynn and Jerry, and they're like the sweetest couple. They're like 60, and they reached out to me when I first went to LA, and they could get me into Disney for free. One of them was a nurse there for several years. And so we got really close. And yeah, man, they just happened to be out here. I shot one of my favorite shorts in their house like a couple years back called The Room Upstairs. And it's that whole vibe. It's like it's just woodsy and like mountainy and cold, much better setting for stuff. And where I live too, like I can shoot a lot of stuff here. Hey, Autumn.
Autumn.
Sorry.
No worries. All
Special
right.
guest.
But by the way, let's get a quick tour of the place or at least the living room.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. It looks nice already.
Yeah, bro. For all our listeners out here, it's a nice little kind of 1-story thing. You got the door out here. We got our snow shovel. Move around here.
Little-
Nice little kitchen area. Got this granite
Looks nice.
washer dryer. Yeah, we got some barn doors, and Autumn's got her office. Bedroom here. Another bath.
Huge.
Yeah, it's cool, bro. It's better than my like roach infested spot on the second story in that it was like a bunch of old, Russians. This is just
Yeah, Russian community.
yeah, it's different.
Um, well, no, that's exciting. And have you gone back to the school yet to teach?
Yeah, I've been there for like 3 days and I'm still on vacation. So I start up like next Monday.
But you've been like still reporting to the school even when school's not in session and like
No, I had a couple weeks off.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, all right, fantastic, man. I'm excited for you. It's
Thank you, man.
yeah.
Enough about me. What's going on in your life?
Yeah, dude. I've been holiday break was good. Chill. Been working this new job, day job myself.
Better than your last?
It's early to tell, but this one is it's kind of like different every day. I'm helping one person do TikToks. Watching dogs for the other person. So it's all been pretty chill.
What have you done on TikTok? Have you ever like really gone hard, or has it just been kind of here and there?
No, I made a commitment to do like 2 videos a week for a couple months or something. I was doing those impression videos.
Mhm.
Uh, but yeah, that was it. And then anyway, so it's fun. By the way, do you know there's I think I might have mentioned probably that oh yeah, Voyage LA. I guess they just reached out. They said the article's coming out soon. Some type of
Coming out
profile.
soon. Hell yeah. You did
Yeah,
mention it, bro, last week.
I did. Um, I don't expect much, but it'll be something. And then Valley Mentality, I've been moving, shaking, working with it.
You're making pretty good income there, right?
I think we went over last time, right? We had some cash flow this year. I
Yeah.
did the balance sheet. We had, we made a little profit. So, I just got to figure out how to get it out to people. Same stuff. I'm trying to think if there's anything noteworthy that's happened. Been auditioning a bit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like standard type auditions.
Uh,
Tell me about those.
did a Nickelodeon audition yesterday and
Nickelodeon, no shit. Was it for a series?
for a TV show called Bunked. And it's very broad comedy. I auditioned for it one time before, and it was a fun part. Before I was supposed to be like a shoe designer, kind of like Valentino or something very sassy, who gets stuck in the middle of this small town. He's all like pissy and stuff. This time I was the guy from the small town, cowboy, who went to business school, moved back and opened up a bar there. And me and my buddy Blaine both auditioned for it. So we filmed it together.
For the same role.
Yeah.
Blaine's that guy who was in that like frat thing, right?
Yeah. And yesterday, doing it with him, we got to talk about that. And that was the first time I'd spoken with him in a while or caught up with him. And he's like, dude, the movie came out good. He's like, we got to find a way to have a screen or something to do with it in LA. I'm like,
I want to hear about this because so first, was the funding just from him, or like how did the project come together? Do you know?
yeah, this one kid, Ben Ubina, uh, produced it, wrote it, starred in it.
That's interesting. That's very similar to the one that I did. So okay, and it was obviously a legit thing. You got paid.
Barely.
Okay. You got some, did you get like points on the back end? It was that type of a thing.
No, there's no deal or anything. It was like so low key.
Okay.
It was like me doing a favor, just like a fun thing. Might not even been SAG. I don't even think it's on IMDb.
But bro, this is like the details of this stuff are super important because, or at least like interesting to me because this is like true indie film, right? And like there's no one right way to assemble a project. But you were paid something.
I don't recall.
Okay. Because it was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet I wasn't paid.
Because, bro, the way that, I mean, also not to like, call anything out or whatever, because I don't know any of the details, but when it comes to feature stuff, I've been really like, before I was so gung-ho about like, yo, like let's just get all our buddies together and just like knock something out that's long form. But I'm like, the legalities of all that stuff would be so tricky. Like if best case scenario happened and I made a feature like for free with all my friends and I got distribution for it and got on like fucking Netflix or whatever, they would, before they put it on any kind of platform or any kind of distribution or whatever, they would ask me, they would make sure that everything was in place. Like, I feel like that's a huge liability to not have.
I don't think we can do something like this now, really. I think you're past that point. I think they kind of took advantage of it was like a bunch of people, young, like super young, time on their hands, just kind of threw something together.
Yeah.
And you've done that too. But I think to legitimize it now, it's like you gotta make it more legitimate.
But
right?
the film's done, it sounds like.
That it was done.
The film is done, like it's cut. There's a
yeah, the final product.
You haven't seen it?
Huh.
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, Blaine said it was good. We both auditioned for this thing. What else? What else?
I mean, at the very least, he can put it on Film Hub and get it up on like Tubi or something.
Okay. I might bring that up. Apparently, they're all doing like an acting class together now too, which I should probably do. I want to get back into like a good acting class. Just to like get
Are you
myself.
still with your coach?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's all good. I'm gonna try some different stuff, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so you still got your lifestyle guy, right? Is that a weekly thing?
Yeah, life coach. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that's different.
Has that been
I thought you
helpful?
meant acting coach.
You've been doing that for a while, right?
Yeah, 8 weeks. It's been nice. It's been nice. Weekly things and just kind of like giving information to help with lifestyle stuff in general. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Enough about me. I'm very tired, if you can't tell.
I think so.
Extremely
And we can cut it off short too if you need. But on my end, I was really caught up in feeling like I need a certain kind of camera. I'm here being in this new environment. I'm like, I'm starting to get stoked about filming stuff again, especially because the whole up and down of like a filmmaker, like writer director thing. I love it because when I shoot too much, then I'm like, I just want to recede back and be on my own and just write my shit and like I don't want to talk to anyone. And then once I'm too deep in the writing thing, which I finished this script for several drafts that I'm stoked about. I already started and I'm heavy deep into the outline of this next one I really like.
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of getting burnt out on that. And so I'm like, I think it's time to start shifting gears a little bit and think about like shooting something else. And so I started looking into expensive high-end camera type stuff because I've never really owned something like that before.
Now you got the money coming in the new
But I mean, having said that, I'm gonna have to wait like a little bit before making that significant of a purchase. But while I was looking into that stuff too, man, I started thinking like for horror, the only defining factor, the only thing you need to have is something that's scary. That's the only thing that people give a shit about, and like a good, compelling story. So I started looking again at my camcorder, and I'm like, what can I do with that? It's 4K for YouTube. It looks great. It's like sometimes having those constraints, those confines, I might start getting more repetitive. I'm thinking about becoming more consistent on YouTube. I have one in the hopper that I'm going to post tonight. So we'll see, bro. We'll see. It always comes in waves, right? We
Right
always
when,
go back to the
right
same
when you
fucking
think you're
thing.
out, they pull you back in.
Always do, bro. But yeah, that I mean that's what I'm feeling right now. It's kind of surprising, but sometimes you just hit that wall of like whether you're shooting or whether you're writing, and then you're like, okay, I need to fucking shift
I
gear.
think I think that's the key. Is like knowing that you go through waves and phases,
Yeah.
which is awesome. I think that's great too. You can just film something for YouTube or whatever you want to do immediately. Like, yeah, is the area inspiring you?
It is, bro. It's so much better than LA. Like, just imagine you seen Misery, right?
Yeah,
It's literally that.
yeah.
It's like it's snow and like everyone would probably open their doors to me to just shoot something. They're all like I met Carol next door, this like middle-aged woman who's like, "Hey, I'm Carol." Like that's that's the vibe of this place, you know? It's just so small and yeah, bro. I just think aesthetically it's gonna work way better for coming up with stuff. Because LA, it's like, what can you do? You've got the like I was in WeHo, like it's just gross, like public transportation and fucking
West Hollywood horror movie.
yeah.
You should do your own version of Misery,
And
like
bro,
a
I got this
reimagining. Is
place too, dude, which I think I'm gonna do next. See that shit?
that a real fireplace?
That's a real fireplace. There's a lot of shit I can do with that, bro. You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. It's those kind of ideas. It's all percolating now.
Gotta
I'm
let it percolate. Gotta let it heat up.
yeah, starting to brainstorm a little bit. So we'll see, man. I mean, for me, it's like, and I'm sure you feel the same way too. Like when you were doing TikTok, did you have anything that got like any sort of traction? Did you get some like thousands of views on some stuff?
I think I got one that had like 17 views. No, I did not.
It's all good, bro. You've wait, have you dropped Duke of the Valley yet or no?
Not officially.
Why?
Oh, like dropped it, put it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought at one point maybe it's just bad to be associated with Caitlyn Jenner.
I know I remember you saying that as far as like a promo for it or something or her putting it
Yeah.
out. But I mean, do you really think it would be that big of a I mean, she's kind of like a bit rolling it. I've seen it.
Oh, she's great. She's great. I think she's very
It's great.
talented.
Yeah.
Um, this is a question of like, is it just something weird to be associated with?
I don't know. I mean, you like there are two schools of thought for it, and I don't think there's one right answer, but like I mean, personally, I think just putting it out there, I don't think I don't think anything that bad would happen, you know.
Yeah.
It's very tongue in cheek. It's like the character is super that, It's not you're not like I endorse every single thing that Caitlyn Jenner said. It's like not that at all. It's so
You
out.
think I should just throw it on YouTube?
I think, bro, like what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something that you just got to think about. But yeah, dude. I mean, I just I have to get in the right headspace of best headspace for me is just being worried about getting stuff out there consistently and not getting too wrapped up in like, oh, this video got this video got this views, because that's what's so demotivating about it. And every creator has the hills and valleys. They all have the ups and downs. Um, for me, I got spoiled because Fisherman popped. And then after Fisherman, every single video for a while was getting like 50K, like 20K at minimum every single week. And then when it started to finally die off because Fisherman it didn't have as much traction, I started getting demotivated. So it's just about getting in the right headspace of like, look, you're going to have those times where it's going to be super hot, you're going to be on. And then these other times, that's what longevity is. Just got to toe the line.
Totally. So now that you're out there and you have the day job, your next thing is like you have these two features you're writing. And you might start trying to film YouTubes as well.
Yeah, that's the plan. Because as far as run and gun feature stuff where it's just me and I'm just doing the raise for it and all this stuff, if my end game is like actually getting it on a streamer, actually getting it, you know, like I really feel like it has to be more. I heard, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but someone once described it as the golden elevator, which means like every film that actually makes it to release, like on a distribution platform, whatever, it's all about the golden elevator, meaning you have the script that's fucking tight. You bring that to someone who can connect you to this person. And I've got some of those plates in the air that are moving where it's like you get some person excited about it, then you move to another person, you get them excited about it. And it's just about moving that elevator up. And I've had some like, you know, I've reached out to some actors directly and you know, I've gotten some responses back favorably about the script. For whatever reason, they're not able to do it, but it's just about staying focused, towing the line. And so when it comes to my features, I think I'm going to stay in like the studio type world. And then when it comes to, you know, I just want to make something, I think YouTube is still a great spot because, you know, subscribers don't hurt. So
No.
we'll see.
I like it. I like it. Have you watched anything good lately?
Good question. You first.
Well, I read a book, listened to the audiobook.
Was it
Shoe Dog all night.
say it again?
Oh, strike two, buddy. If you haven't heard of this, it's called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. You haven't heard of it?
We'll take a poll with our audience, see who's heard of it. No.
Oh, don't need to. 100% of 100% have heard. You are the odd man out, my friend.
Sophia Lopez, have you heard it?
Oh, she would have read it 25 times by now.
Yeah.
Our golden student, Sophia.
Is this a business magnet? Tell me about it.
So Shoe Dog is
Uh-huh.
about the creator of Nike. It's his autobiography. I think it came out kind of a while ago, I guess. Turns out 2007. Bill Gates' favorite book. Vinny, my brother, told me to read it a while ago, mainly because it's like really good for any entrepreneur to see his journey.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard he was like kind of a prick and stuff, and it turned me off of it. And then a few things came up recently where they were like, you have to read it. And like very important people said that. And I was like, okay. So I started it on Audible, which by the way, the narrator, the reader is the actor Norbert Leo Butz, who's like in Bloodline. It's like a big New York actor. And he's really good. Bro, it's probably my favorite story I've ever come across. I was so wrong to not want to dive in. It's such a page turner. It's so self-deprecating and human and a great example of that, the road to the top of pursuing any venture that you have. Because obviously, like artists and filmmakers and actors, and everything are entrepreneurs. You're just selling yourself or your idea. It shows how random it is. I mean, the way that Nike came around, the name of it alone, he didn't even like it at first. He didn't even like it. The person that came up with the idea, it was someone that he took for granted. He didn't even really like. He had some stuff going for him. It makes you want to go to Oregon. Like it's just so well illustrated about this cool place in the Northwest. And he went to school, University of Oregon. He went to graduate school, MBA at Stanford, and ran track at Oregon, but still felt like he didn't have that much going for him. And just seeing how like his relationship with his dad changes in a good way, and how he pushes so hard just because he committed to this task of making this company big. And at first, dude, he just gets screwed time and time and time again. Time and time again.
Give me a few highlights. Like you're saying, he got screwed and it was so random, that path to the top. Give us a couple touch points.
I appreciate it, bro. I could talk forever about it, but so he starts off wanting to do this business that he had as like his thesis at in business school at Stanford, which is that he said because the Japanese camera market overtook the American camera market with like Fujifilm and stuff in the 60s, he thought they could do the same thing with shoes. So he found out about this shoe company in Japan, went there immediately after school, pitched himself to this company called like Onitsuka Tiger, which by the way, he was right about because now they're still big to this day. He wanted to be the American distributor for them and be a manager for them. I think people will forget about the plot points before they read the book, so I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but he ends up getting the deal somehow, this young kid, and it's all kind of exciting. Plot twist, the Japanese company kind of just doesn't appreciate him the whole time. And he starts doing pretty dang well. And he gets this guy to work for him that he went to school with. The guy didn't want to work for him at first, but once the guy does start working for him, he puts his heart and soul into it, this guy. And he keeps coming back to Phil Knight, and Phil Knight kind of takes him for granted, even because anyway, then you just find out that the Japanese company didn't treat him that well.
Mm-hmm.
And you think for a while, a lot of people don't treat him that well. And you think that that's just because business is tough. But then in the end, someone does end up helping him out.
Mm-hmm.
And they tell him, no, these people aren't good. They weren't treating you well. And we were thinking about doing business with them. We're not even going to anymore because of how they've been treating you. You've done really well, and you have no idea how well you've done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that was a real nice aspect of the book for me, which is that it's not that you have to change anything. Like, keep the straight line and keep working hard and keep doing what you're doing, and take the shit. Like, you should take shit, but know that there is a better life out there and that you will amount to it.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just have to get through all the shit to get to the clarity and the haven. And he has all this stuff go his way along the way. He gets lucky. He gets this coach that was a god to him. His coach at Oregon ends up coming on and working with him as a partner. And the guy's so brilliant and goes down as one of the most like fascinating characters in history. Like, this guy is just such a beast, and doing business with Phil Knight is awesome. And the group of misfits that end up making this running company, Nike, the sports company, they're anything but sporty and cool. It's like three fat guys, like really fat. One guy who's handicapped in a wheelchair. They smoke cigarettes. It's just like this hilarious motley crew of people that are track nerds that make this billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company. It's one of the biggest in the world. It's a real fascinating tale. And then the backdrop of like the Cold War in the background and seeing his opinion on all that stuff which is really funny, and like family dynamics and stuff. It's really insightful. Awesome.
Great summary, bro. I'm usually not an autobiography guy, but man, that it sounds great. What it reminds me of too is something that I've been thinking about recently. Like, it's so interesting to hear about his experience with that Japanese company as this young kid.
Yep.
And then he turned into the biggest, business magnate in the world. And something I've been thinking about a lot lately is how we're the new guard. It's like our journey now, where we're at now. Yeah, it's not the starting point, but it's still in the beginning, early stages. And the old guard dies off. They're pushed off to the side. And it's like, you brought up Jack Nicholson. He's an old guard. Eventually it'll come to a time where people like you, people who are in your demo, are going to be filling that position. And, there are certain production companies that are out now that are at the top of their game, but it's all about that new guard replacing the old guard. I really like that you read these, like, because you read the Disney one,
Bob
um,
Iger's Ride of a Lifetime as well. Yeah.
Ride of a Lifetime, yeah.
I
Uh,
think it's just under this. I think this one's even better.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
It goes to show, yeah, bro. There's like 20K reviews on this thing, and they're all 5-star or 50K.
I think objectively considered like one of the
One of
best.
the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. The fact that you
But
love,
I also was very private person and they like unraveled, pulled away the curtain and let you see behind his life. Anyway, continue.
the fact that you love reading these in your spare time, it shows that you are an entrepreneur, and obviously you are. It's like you got the crossover. Uh, Obviously you have the value mentality stuff. That's a whole other thing, but I agree, man. As far as being an artist, that crossover with being an entrepreneur, it's one and the same.
Oh yeah.
It's the exact
Also,
same thing. You got to have the mind for that.
well, my big that was I appreciate that point already that you said about being the new guard. But I think such a big thing about reading these guys' stories is that they are roadmaps. I don't like fiction because what do I have to learn from that?
Mhm.
Nonfiction, you see this stuff that it's tough to make up. It's stranger than fiction, I
Yeah.
think. And these stories are like the tension is so high. People care so much. Everyone's livelihood is at stake. And seeing how they act and which direction they go in and what they regret is wildly entertaining. And then also just amazing, amazing lessons. It's the best. I think Phil Knight's book should be required reading in high school for sure.
Mhm.
Um,
A
and
lot of high schools don't teach this kind of stuff.
probably not, but that so many people say it now that I find it hard to believe they're not changing. But uh man, because this guy, Phil Knight, just had guts. And he just kept going. And he wasn't perfect. But
Are there patterns that you saw with Bob Iger's book and this?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of random stuff. Yeah, what kind of patterns did you see?
Well, I see Bob Iger, I think, had it even better than Phil Knight as far as he went in a direction. And like, for instance, he started as a production assistant at ABC and he was noticed and he did well and he got brought up. But then he stuck with these guys that he thought were brilliant businessmen. And everyone made fun of them and thought they were not a part of the Hollywood culture as much, but he stuck with the business guys that were the new heads of ABC. And that was a successful decision for him. They ended up becoming huge and they brought him along with them. And so that stuff like that of like making a choice and it going well. I mean, there was choices that for Phil Knight, they ended up pretty much all going well in a way. They took him further down the road, like getting this guy on his team. He said at a certain point, he pretty much surrounded himself all with smart accountants and lawyers. And it helped. If he found a smart person, he would have him come work for him.
Mhm.
And it started doing well. But other than that, Phil Knight's road was much tougher. At
Yeah,
least how it was told here. Phil Knight was always treading water. He was always in a battle with the bank, in debt. The sales were great, the numbers were great, but they were always cash poor. And so they were
Mhm.
always fighting with the bank and going back and forth. And he was barely able to pay himself a salary till so late. He hadn't. So for me, it completely responds to me. Bro, he had one full-time employee. The company was starting to pick up. It wasn't even called Nike yet. And but things were picking up big time. And he decided he was burnt out, couldn't take it anymore. This is about 5 years in or something. And he couldn't take it anymore. And he got an accounting job, similar to how I talk about going into finance. And he did it. And he was working 6 days a week, 14-hour days for a very prestigious accounting firm. He said it sucked, he was literally like, there's a moment where it doesn't make sense if you haven't read it, I guess, but or without more information. But he was sitting at lunch eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, looking at the bird and thinking, just a couple months ago, I was in Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
having the time of my life, surfing, doing all this. Was that the high of my life? It was like, is
Is
it
it
my
all
life?
downhill from here?
It's all downhill from here, and it wasn't. But he working at that accounting company, he did learn a lot. He learned how to break down a company and bring, just figure out everything that was important. But he he ultimately got out of there and became a teacher, which gave him more free time. But
Wow.
anyway, dude, Phil Knight was grinding. He was grinding, and it was tough forever. And yeah, they had huge wins along the way, which were exciting. It completely translates to my type of stuff, I feel like. I
Yeah.
hope mine will be much easier. Bill Gates, I read his review. He said it reminds him of how Microsoft was like in the very early days,
Mhm.
but then it popped off and very quickly, and it was fun because him and his friends were together. I don't think if you asked Phil Knight about his early days, would it have been considered fun. I don't think it was fun,
Mhm.
but but it was incredible, and he wanted his work to be fun and play, and he busted his ass to get it there, and he got it. Uh, and Bob Iger's book, incredible defining moments as well of high stakes guy putting himself on the line. But Bob Iger, honestly, like, God, he made so many just correct decisions. There's so many forks in the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone can live their life however, best works for them. Me personally, there's nothing that inspires me more than hearing a story like that
Yeah.
about someone who's self-made, who was through the ringer and persisted. And something that resonated with me about that story too, the fact that he was this kid and he went to fucking Japan to pitch
Yeah.
himself and had a hard time there. That to me is like total clarity of vision and intention, which I think is really important. Besides just what you're saying of like surrounding yourself with people,
Well,
you
bro, it changed a lot though. His
know? Yeah.
ideas changed a lot. And yes, he had a vision for sure, but it's a testament to that. Like, just keep pushing, but like be open to the winds and weaves, and you just gotta roll with the punches. So I would start on it tonight, honestly. My mom read it in 2 days, by the way, too, since I
Oh,
told her.
shit.
Ate it up. And it's just a page turner for anyone.
I gotta say, it's hard for me to start a book. It like notoriously from me, but I mean, dude, it sounds really fucking good, and it
Yeah.
just like you, like resonating with that type of journey. Like I feel like I'm on the same type of path. So
All
I
the stuff you write about, it's 100%, man. In fact that you have like this teaching job and write, like, it's so similar to you
spot
too.
on. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy as a teacher too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so similar. So it is. All right, bro. I'm sorry. I feel like I just talked a bunch, but
Not at all, bro. This was great. Thanks for the rec. It's great seeing you.
you
And
as always too.
let's do it again next week.
Sounds great, my dude. See
All
ya.
right. Bye.